Now, to install an app, I need to go to what's called the App Store, which is this blue A down here. As I mentioned before, the App Store has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of apps, and that is not an over-exaggeration. There are thousands of apps on every single topic, everything from writing apps to productivity apps, things for games, and you can see it's scrolling through some of the most common right up here. So right now, we are on the Featured tab, and you can see these different categories right down at the very bottom. So featured are going to be ones that Apple is recommending. So they've looked through the apps and they've determined that this is one that would work well for everybody. You can see there's things for games, different apps that they love, things for the election. If I slide my finger over through the categories, I can see more apps within that own column. If I see an app that I like and I want to know more about it, like this Bear app, I tap my finger once on it and it brings up a little demo. So I can see screenshots, sometimes even videos if they've uploaded videos. I can see a description, so I can see what the app is about. And most importantly, you can see reviews. So if I don't know what the app is about, and I want to know how it functions, and how it functions over time, I'll typically go to the reviews first. So this app is fairly highly rated. You can see 5 stars, I have quite a few, and not a lot in the lower star range. If I scroll down, I can see different comments based on the app. People will tell you what they like, what they don't like, what the interface works, did an update break it. What's nice is if there's an app that I like, I can click on the related button and find apps that are like that one. So it's a lot like a little rabbit hole. So if I find here that I really like Notability Next, you can see it brings up another little menu screen. Now I can always go back to the other one here just by tapping, and it brings me back. As you scroll down, again, we have those screenshots, reviews, and even more related. So you can see how you can start to really dig deep into this app store here. Now you'll notice Notability has a price right here of $9.99. Some apps are free, some apps are paid. So if they're paid, you're going to see a price here. Now you can't accidentally install a paid app. If I click on that, hit buy, it's going to ask me to enter in information to buy that app. So you can see it asks me for my Apple ID password. Your Apple ID is what you use to download apps, what you use to purchase things, use it for iTunes. So you may already have an iTunes ID or Apple ID if you've used iTunes before, but you're going to use that exact same one for when it comes to apps. If I go back to Bear over here though, you'll notice how it says get instead of having a paid button. So if I hit the get and install, it'll start downloading for me. It's still going to ask my password even if it is a free app. And they do that to protect you, so that way you don't accidentally install something you don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my Apple ID password. Starts to download, and you can see it has what looks like a little stop button here. So the stop button, I can stop the download if I decide I really didn't want it. If you have already paid for it though, stopping it will not refund your money. Now you'll notice a little tick mark has appeared right up here. This is showing you the progress of how long it's taking to download. So this could be a little bit bigger of an app because you can see it's taking a little bit longer to do. Once that fills all the way in, I'll be able to launch that app and use it immediately. Now to browse the App Store and to download apps, you do need an internet connection. Right within the App Store, while we're waiting for that to download, you'll notice an icon in the top right-hand corner. This is going to be the share button, and you're going to see this a lot around iPads. Click on the box with the arrow coming out of it. It's going to ask you how you want to share it. This is if there's a really good app that I want to be able to send to a friend and recommend to them, I can just click mail. And because we set up that mail account, it automatically pops up who we're sending it from. We can put in an address of who we're sending it to. So there's I engage, type in a subject and hit send. And just like that, you're sending an app recommendation and they can download it directly from their email. Now it doesn't purchase it for them. So if it is a paid app, it will still ask them to purchase that. Now that's just featured. We can also go down here where it says categories. So you notice how there's a lot of games in there. If maybe I'm not looking for games, I want to look for things in education or something like books, that's where categories comes in handy. So if I scroll down here and I want to look for things for photo and video, I tap on it once. And again, we have our categories on the left-hand side and the more specific opens up on the right. And this looks a lot like featured where you have those different rows of apps that are recommended. So here's ones for editing photos. Here's ones for making great videos. Here's things for prints. And you can see so many different categories, everything from education to creation apps. If I click on education, I can narrow it down even further. They even have collections by different levels of grades. So if I'm looking for K through 12, or maybe something for educators, or tools for teachers, or even if it's for your major. So if you're a student that's in biology or psychology, I can master my major, click on whatever my major is, and it will allow me to go through and pick apps that are relevant to me. Next up is top charts. I use this quite often because I like to know what are other people downloading. If I click top charts, it breaks it down to 3 categories. The first one being paid. These are going to be apps that have some costs associated with them. And you can see there's ones for games in there, there's ones for education, there's ones for, I think, a goat simulator. So if that's what you're into, there's plenty of games out there. The next column are free. So these are going to be apps that you can download to your heart's content, and they're all going to be free. Now you'll notice that some of these will say open. That means that app is already installed on my iPad. You cannot download more than one of the same app. It will not let you. So if I want to do Google Chrome or Facebook or YouTube, you'll notice how I can just click open on there. Now if it's one that I've already downloaded, but maybe I deleted, instead of seeing a get or an open button, you're going to see a picture of a cloud. If you tap on that cloud, it'll just ask you to enter your passcode again, and there you go. You'll be able to quickly and easily download the app without an issue. Top grossing is the third column. That's going to be ones that have the largest grossing profit when it comes to their app. So some of those apps may surprise you. A lot of times these have what's called in-app purchases, meaning the app itself is free, but to unlock some of that content, you may need to pay a price. Now, if I wanted to go through and see what kind of app I downloaded before, and I forgot the name, but I know I downloaded a little bit ago, there's the purchase category. These are going to be all of your purchased apps. So if I tap on that, I can see all of the different purchased apps that I have. And so that's that little cloud I was talking about earlier with the download button. So again, these are ones that I have deleted already from my iPad, but I do want to download them again. Just tap on the cloud and it'll start downloading. I can also narrow this down to things that I've purchased that are no longer on my iPad. So instead of going through the things that I already know about that are on the iPad, click not on this iPad. And these are going to be things that I've already deleted. So whether they're apps that I really didn't enjoy or they just didn't work for me, they're going to be not on this iPad. If I have something in particular that I'm looking for, let's say Microsoft Word, I can go and search that. So a lot of these categories, you'll notice a common theme of a search bar in the top right-hand corner. So as I go through here, there's purchased, top charts categories, I can search. So I'm going to click up here, and let's say I want to search for Google Drive. Just type in Google Drive. As I'm starting to type, you'll notice it brings up suggestions for me. Tap on it. And not only does it bring up the Google Drive app here, it also brings up related apps and things that look related to your search. So again, Google Drive is already installed, so I have that open. But as we scroll through here, there's a Google Plus app, a Gmail app. There's going to be things for Google Classroom. So a lot of these are going to be made by Google, but some of these will not be. An easy way to take a look and see who is making them is to look for the developer name right underneath it. So Google Docs is made by Google Incorporated. However, G Drive for Google Drive is made by Steven Zhang. So it's good to watch and see who is making these apps. That way, if you're intending to download Google Drive made by Google, you're not accidentally downloading something that you don't need or is made from a developer that maybe not be the right solution for you. A lot of folks will buy a paid app just because they think it's the free app that they're looking for. And that's a shame because you could just look under the developer name and quickly find out who is making that. Now, if I find a developer I really like, I can also pull up apps that are related to them. So if I'm at Google Drive here and I want to find more stuff made by Google, instead of clicking any of these options down here, I'm going to go up here and click where it says Google Incorporated. This brings me to all of Google's apps. So this is good if you're looking for apps by Niantic, or maybe you're looking at apps that made Candy Crush and you want to get the same developer. This will show you everything that they've made. So Google has a lot more in its arsenal than even we know. So there's iPhone apps here and then iPad apps down here. The difference between an iPhone app and an iPad app is the resolution of it. So you can actually run an iPhone app on an iPad. However, it's going to scale down to the size of a screen of an iPhone. So when possible, you want to look for an iPad app as opposed to an iPhone app. You don't see an iPad app that you need and they do have the iPhone app, you can download that. But again, it's going to be a scaled down experience. So here's the iPad apps I can download. Google Translate's personally one of my favorites for the iPad. I tap on it. Again, I can click open or get, and it launches that app for me. So this is a neat little translation app that you can use. If I'm inside an app and I want to get back, I just hit my home button and it takes me back to the screen. And you can see that app that I started to reinstall earlier is showing here, and the app that I installed first, Bear, has already installed. So if it's already installed, it's going to be solid like this, and if it's installing, you're going to see what looks like a pie chart starting to slowly fill through.